All right, what city should have a pro sports team? We're back in the Hardy Complex. This is a big conversation that I think a lot of people end up having, and I'm going to kind of add into it. What cities have that could have a pro sports team or should have a pro sports team in a specific sport? So, for example, if I wanted to use Seattle, I'd have to designate whether they deserve a basketball team or a hockey team, for example. I'm not going to use Seattle because I think they deserve both equally. No, you know what? I think Seattle deserves to have their basketball team back. Yeah. Yeah, let's get into it. Louisville, Kentucky. I think that should be a team that has an NBA team, or I think that's a city that should have an NBA team. Vancouver. I think they should get their NBA team back. Um, Bismarck, North Dakota, or Pierre, South Dakota, um, or just the Dakota whatevers. I think they should have a baseball team. Connecticut, or more specifically Hartford, but really Hartford is kind of like everything in Hartford, so Connecticut overall. But Hartford should have a hockey team. They should have the Hartford Whalers back. Rhode Island. I think a lot of people overlook Rhode Island because of how little it is. I think Providence should have a pro sports team. I think it should be a baseball team. It could be a hockey team or a basketball team just as easily, but I think it should be a baseball team. I think it fits in the most. Excuse me. Vermont. I think they should have a baseball team. Concord, New Hampshire. I think they should have a football team. I'm going off the top of my head, by the way. Portland, Oregon. They have a basketball team, and that's it. I think they should have a football team or hockey team at the very least. Most importantly, hockey team. Sacramento. I know, another California sports team, but nevertheless, Sacramento only has a basketball team. I would love to see them have a baseball team, or I would love to see them have a football team. Continuing onward, New Mexico. Albuquerque, most importantly, should have a football team. Alabama, just overall Alabama as a whole. Even if you want to say Montgomery, Alabama as a whole, maybe even Auburn, football team, pro football team, absolutely. Mississippi, again, pro football team. Louisiana already has the Saints, but I don't think. Well, no, they have the Pelicans as well. All right, they're good enough. You just leave them be. Georgia has everything in Atlanta other than a hockey team, and well, we saw how they worked out with hockey twice. The Atlanta Flames and the Atlanta Thrashers. Oh, I'm sorry, more importantly now, the Calgary Flames and the Winnipeg Jets. It seems like whenever Canada wants to have a team for hockey, they just position it where, you know what, yeah, we'll give them to Atlanta. Oh, it didn't work out in Atlanta? It's been 7 years. We'll take them. Yeah. Toronto, team number 2. Anyway, Maine, I think they should have a hockey team. Oklahoma City, football team in addition to their basketball team. Houston has every team other than hockey, and I don't think hockey belongs in Texas. Nebraska, Omaha, most importantly. They have a football team in the Legends Football League, but in male pro sports, I think that absolutely you should have a football team in Nebraska. Makes the most sense. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The Packers are already in Green Bay, so Wisconsin already has a team, but nevertheless, Milwaukee. They have the Bucks, and they have the Brewers. They deserve a hockey team. Detroit. Detroit has the Lions. Detroit has the Red Wings. Detroit has the Pistons. And Detroit has the Tigers. So Detroit is good. Minneapolis. They have the Vikings. They have the North Stars. Wait, no, they don't have the North Stars. They have the Wild. My bad. Sorry. Oops. That was bad. They have the Timberwolves. And does Minnesota have a baseball team? Yes. Minnesota has the Twins. Minnesota is good. Indianapolis, on the other hand, they have the Colts. And they have nothing else. Indianapolis should have a basketball team. It's a very big basketball state. So Indianapolis should have a basketball team. Baltimore, they have a football team in the Baltimore Ravens. They have the Baltimore Orioles. I don't think there's a Baltimore team in the NHL. And in the NBA, there's not a Baltimore team. So I think Baltimore should have either a hockey team, but most importantly, they should probably have a basketball team. Um, Kentucky, they should have a basketball team, no doubt about it. Wait, no, I already said Louisville. Okay, my bad. I digress. We already have that. Tennessee, Nashville, they have the Predators, they have the Titans, they have. They don't. I don't think they have a baseball team. I said hockey. I said football. So that has basketballs left, right? Memphis, by technicality, Tennessee, Memphis has a basketball team. So I think yeah, Memphis. I think Tennessee should have. Well, now I'm in a spot. Yeah, I think Tennessee should have a baseball team. Yeah. Chicago. They have the Blackhawks. They have the White Sox. They have the Cubs. They have the Bears. They have the. I'm blanking. They have baseball. I covered baseball, football, basketball. They have the Bulls. Okay, so they're good. St. Louis. They have the Blues. That's it. They should absolutely get their football team back. But in addition to that, I think it would be nice to see a St. Louis basketball team. Also, they have the St. Louis Cardinals. My bad. San Antonio. They have the Spurs. They have nothing else. Now, granted, I say Memphis and Nashville. Like I group them into Tennessee, but Texas. Like when it comes down to Tennessee, what cities can you name? Can you name as many as you can with Texas? Because I can name Memphis, I can name Nashville. Texas, I can name Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, Austin. Also, when I said New Mexico, Albuquerque or Santa Fe works. When I say California, I can say Sacramento, I can say Los Angeles, I can say San Francisco. I can... Yeah, frog in the throat, my bad. I can say San Jose. I can continue pretty much anywhere I please. New York, I can go Brooklyn, I can go Manhattan, I can go Long Island, I can go Port Washington. I live in Port Washington. I'm in Port Washington right now. So, the big market sports, Illinois, you got Chicago, but I group them all together. When it comes down to San Antonio, though, they have the Spurs. I think San Antonio should have a football team, but I think at the same time, maybe baseball would work. I think baseball would work very well in San Antonio. That would be 3 Texas teams. Let's see, Dallas. They have the Mavericks. They have the Stars. They have the Cowboys. Technically, Texas Rangers are, I guess, the Dallas Rangers, if anything. All right, enough of that. Montana. That should be baseball. No? No, Montana should be football. I think football or baseball would work with Montana. Idaho. That should be. Boise should have a football team. Continuing on. New Jersey, they have a hockey team. They should have a basketball team as well. They technically have the Giants and the Jets, but let's be honest, the Jets and the Giants are New York. Even if they play in New Jersey. The 49ers are still the San Francisco 49ers, but they play in Santa Clara. That's shit ton of miles away. Oakland, they have the Athletics, they have the Raiders, but by 2021, they'll only have the Athletics. They should absolutely have a football team as long as they have a stadium that's worth it. But aside from that, basketball, well, no, by technicality, they have the Warriors. It's still Golden State. They're really the Bay Area Warriors, though. Nah, I'll count Warriors as Oakland. All right, you got that. What am I missing? I'm trying to go. South Carolina and North Carolina, they have the Carolina Panthers, and they don't have anything else. So I think North and South Carolina, so whether it's Charleston or Raleigh, I think they should absolutely have a. Also, they have the Carolina Hurricanes, my bad. Basketball team. I think Carolina should have a basketball team. Ohio. They've got a team in everywhere. The Cavs, the Browns, the Indians. Though some would argue that the Browns aren't a team. The Browns are kind of becoming a team. They have the Blue Jackets. They have the Bengals. Yeah, they're everywhere. They have the Reds. Jesus. Trying to continue down, or I'm trying to continue along the lines. Iowa, that should be a football team. Missouri, I said St. Louis. Kansas, absolutely should be a football team. Wait, no. No, the Chiefs play in Kansas City, Missouri. So Kansas itself should have a football team. That would be a feud with Kansas City Chiefs. Though if I couldn't choose football because that would be cheating, then I think Kansas should have. I think they should have a basketball team. I think it works better than hockey, though I think the Kansas City Scouts would be an interesting return. Is there anybody I'm missing? I'm gonna assume that there's most likely somebody that I'm missing, or at least a state that I'm missing. Let me hit that down really quickly. Let's see. All right. Wyoming, Cheyenne should absolutely have a football team. Utah, they have a basketball team with the Jazz. I think baseball would be an interesting little thing for them. Colorado, they have the Broncos. Colorado has the Rockies. Colorado has the Avalanche. Colorado has the Nuggets. Colorado's good. Arizona, they have the Cardinals. They have, I guess, the Coyotes. They have the Suns. What was the other Arizona team? Diamondbacks, into the Diamondbacks. Arizona's good. Nevada, Las Vegas, probably should be a basketball team. Though they'll get a football team in a few years too. Gonna be missing somebody. Arkansas, I think that should be a football team. West Virginia, I think that should be a football team. Virginia probably would be a basketball team. Virginia would probably be a basketball team. Delaware should absolutely be a baseball or basketball team. Washington, I mentioned Seattle. Oregon, I mentioned Portland. And I guess the last thing that I have to I guess mention would be Washington D.C. I guess I say that with such contempt. I mentioned Alaska or Hawaii, but D.C. should get a. Fuck it, you know what? No, Washington has enough. Washington and Maryland. Alaska and Hawaii. Hawaii should absolutely have a. I mean, Alaska should have a hockey team, but Alaska should have a football team too. Hawaii should have a. God, what is Hawaii like? God damn it. Hawaii, baseball, hockey. No hockey. Baseball, football, or basketball. Football would probably be the only reasonable answer, since taking a flight out to Hawaii would probably be obnoxious during an NBA season. Just imagine if you're a conference, like a division rival with Hawaii, and it's like, usually when you're a division rival, you have to kind of play in an area, like your division is probably the same area, so it makes travel difficult, or it makes travel easy. But just imagine you play Hawaii, and then like New Mexico, then go back to Hawaii, then Sacramento, then finish the season with Hawaii. It's like, all right, plane to an island, plane to the mainland, plane to the island, plane to the mainland, plane to an island. Playing the mainland. Football would probably be the only reasonable answer, but I think baseball would probably work. Basketball would probably work the most, but I think baseball or football would be the easiest schedules to keep up. Basketball would be obnoxious, but it'd be workable. So I think basketball would work first and foremost. Then second would probably be Hawaii, and then third would be football. Hawaii should not be a hockey area, though. I think that's good. All right. Yeah, good to go. Hardy complex. Whoops. All right.